Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And as you can see, it's chicken in the house this morning. Yeah, it's the lovely Dorothy. A little bit of a late start this morning, simply because we've been taking two cats to the vets this morning. So come on, out you go, Dorothy. Come on. Just trying to encourage Dorothy to go out the door. Come on, lovely. There you go. There you go. Right. Okay, then. So that's Dorothy this morning. Little Kiki there, having a bit of a feed. I'm just going to shut the door because I'll be going back in the house to do the broadcast this morning. But anyway, have a look at the weather this morning. It is a lot better than what it was yesterday, where we had incredible amounts of rain. It was just a miserable day yesterday, to be quite honest. But look at that. It's looking absolutely very nice at the moment. So anyway, that's the weather forecast for today. According to the lovely Amanda's concise broadcast, she said, morning, Ginge. Weather this morning is going to be sunny with sunny spells. No talk of any rain at the moment. Temperature's going to be 18, but it's going to feel like 18. And to be honest, I've got to be honest, it's actually feeling quite nicer, even though today, technically, it is cooler. But anyway, that's the weather for today. Got a bit of news for you this morning. Actually, in fact, got quite a bit of news this morning. So let's just go into the house. I'll shut the door just so we don't get the chicken back in the house as well. And crack on with what's been going on in the last 24 hours here in Greece. So let me just switch the screen round, although I'll be switching it around again partway through the broadcast just to show you some more information. Anyway, new infections in the last 24 hours, they've actually dropped slightly. I did report to you yesterday, 8,100 new infections across Greece. Today's new rate is 7,108 new infections. That brings the total now up to 901,661. 12 new cases were detected at ports and entries into the country. That number is up on the day before, where we had 10. Now, when it comes to infections around the islands of the Ionian that we're looking at with interest, cases in Macardo, that has gone up, was 9 the other day. Today, report 14. Corfu, interestingly, I couldn't see any figure at all for Corfu, so I can only assume that Corfu didn't have any new infection rates. When you consider that they had 83 the day before yesterday, 93 yesterday, and today it is showing 0. Again, I'm not sure whether there was a mistake in the figures, but again, on the figures that I was looking at, Corfu didn't seem to be there. So I'm taking it maybe they haven't had any infections on Corfu, but they're still in the red at the moment. I'm going to come on to the colours in the traffic light system a little bit later on. Also, the case in the case of Prefecture of Kefalonia, Kefalonia seems to have had the same amount of infections yesterday as they had the day before, which was 12, and the day before that they had 18, but the day before that they had no infections at all, and that island at the moment is still in amber. Now, cases on Zakynthos, 14 new cases reported. That's down on yesterday, where we had 22 new cases. And at the moment, as one of my news stories is that Zakynthos is to remain in the red as far as the Greek traffic light system is concerned. But I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a while. Now, when it comes to deaths at the moment, there's been 93 new deaths across the country. That's down slightly on yesterday, where we had 91. The day before that, we'd had 105, which was the highest number of daily deaths since November the 21st, 2020. That brings the total now to 17,425 deaths since the pandemic started. 95% of those people had underlying health conditions or were over the age of 70 years of age. Moving on then to ICUs. At the moment, ICUs, critical cases at the moment in ICUs, that number has gone up again to 612 from 597 yesterday. Of that 612, 368 are male, 244 are female. The average age for those people is around about 65 years of age, and they have got underlying health issues or are over the age of 70. Now, regarding critical patients regarding vaccination status, 499 of those people are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, while 113 of them are fully vaccinated. So there you go. Those are the COVID stats. Anyway, some hot off the press news from this morning. There was an incident yesterday in Kerry where a man who was picking olives lost consciousness and then basically fell out of an olive tree that he was in. Now, this tree was about 3 meters up. Anyway, the man fell to the ground. His daughter, who was helping him pick the olives, luckily, she was able to go and get help, and she found a Zakynthos Traffic Police patrol who were actually carrying out checks at the time close by to where the incident occurred. Anyway, in fact, one of the police officers, Pantelis Triodis, it turned out that he was a member of the Red Cross, and he obviously started to give first aid. The local press are making a big announcement saying that the police traffic commander, Nafarias Tolos, has to be congratulated as well, because as soon as he was informed about the incident, he gave orders for that patrol to help the man in any way that they could. There's no word on his condition or how he's got on, but hopefully the gentleman is going to get better. Now, we're talking about, I was in the COVID stats about the map today. Now, the COVID map, which is produced by the government, which is updated from time to time, is about to be updated at 12 o'clock today. Now, this is the map as it will actually start to appear. We managed to get a copy of it through the local media. But at the moment, this is Zakynthos just over here. As you can see, we are in red. That is Kefalonia over there, and they are in amber. Lefkada over here, they are in green at the moment. And then there's Corfu over there, which at the moment is in dark red. So we're in light red, they're in dark red, and the rest of Greece you can see as well. Many areas in dark red. The only areas that seem to be in the green at the moment is Lefkada here, and I'm not sure what that location is there by this area here, but the Aegean Islands over there, quite a few of them are in the green. Well, anyway, it was announced yesterday by the government. They said, although there is stability throughout the country, and in some cases the reduction even a reduction in spread of the coronavirus, they have had to put 3 areas additionally in an epidemiology area of risk and to the 5th level, which is basically deep red. Now, those 3 areas are Grania, Arta and Electrocamania. They've actually moved out of amber and have moved into deep red. Now, Greva and Arca, according to the latest data from the health authorities, showed a deterioration in daily coronavirus infections and were included in the maximum risk level, which is 5, which is the deep red. Also, areas passing from level 2, which is yellow, to the orange. So that's a serious area colour. The good news is that this week, after a month, the 3 regions of the country show better epidemiology data and are falling. Going from level 4 into deep red, I've already said, is Grenvia, Arta and Electomania. But going from level 2, which is yellow, to level 3, which is orange, a more serious level, is Hania down in Crete. They have been put up to a higher level. Going down a level from deep red to light red, as it were, is Messalina. Going from level 4 of red to level 3 of orange, so going down, is Strepahia. They're going down as well. Now, remaining the orange level at the moment is central, northern and the southern part of Athens, as well as Piraeus. 27 areas. I'm not going to go into all of them, but we are in that area. We're not in that area. We are in the area of the light red, not the dark red. But areas that are in dark red at the moment include Thessaloniki, Arcadia, Mount Athos and Halkidiki. Now, it has also been clarified that only in 30 hospitals of the 3rd and 4th health districts, that's northern Greece and Thessaly, 1,522 patients are being treated in single beds. That's what they say, with high oxygen flow and ICU. Now, the changes in the epidemiology map are expected to change today. So it seems at the moment, I did read something, that comes up in a later thing about the number of ICU beds that Greece has available, and I'll come on to that in just a while. Anyway, it seems that the Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis has written to the European Commission head, Ursula von der Leyen, to propose that COVID vaccine boosters be considered as a condition for free travel across Europe, the European Union, for citizens over the age of 60 as cases surge. Anyway, such measures, Mitsotakis says in his letter, must be reflected in the European Digital Certificate and in the Delegated Act concerning the validity period of the European Digital Certificate that the EU's executive arm plans to adopt this week concerning free movement within the bloc. Now, Mitsotakis said such a policy initiative will help our health systems cope more efficiently with a heavy winter of hospitalizations, but also to sustain control over the virus and pandemic without moving to new horizontal restrictions that would put in jeopardy the recovery of our economies and the freedom of movement. He further said, I believe that mandating the 3rd dose as part of the certificate of vaccination for citizens over 60 would be an important step in the right direction against the pandemic. So I'm not going to get into the argument over this, because basically I don't agree that these passports that they're trying to bring in through the back door. You got to remember, Mitsotakis made quite a good reputation for himself with inside the EU last year as he was pushing for these vaccine passports. However, it didn't come off in the way that was anticipated. The UK definitely has steered away from vaccination passports, that's for sure, but then the UK are not part of Europe anymore. But again, he is also pushing for the over 60s to be vaccinated, whether they want it or whether they don't. So again, we shall wait and see how this all plays out again. Now, going back to about hospitals a moment here in Greece. Hospitals across Greece now are delaying surgeries to free up bed space in the face of growing concerns over hospital capacity constraints. Now, the decision by the Greek Health Ministry, taken amid an influx of COVID-19 patients, will mostly affect selective surgeries and procedures which are expected to be scaled back by up to 80%. Now, according to a memo that was sent out by the Deputy Health Minister, Minga Gaga, make of that name what you want, but anyway, that's her name, Minga Gaga, to the directors of the country's health regions, regular surgeries can be cut up to 80%. Patients who require emergency surgical intervention will be exempt from the measure. So basically, this is getting a bit like the UK now, where you might have been waiting for a routine operation. It looks like that the health minister now is saying routine operations can be cut up to 80% from local hospitals, etc. So they're concentrating now. This is like the mantra that was going on in the UK health service. And we've already seen the problems in the UK health service where people weren't getting the treatment that they required. They were all being told, no, sorry, can't do that at the moment. We're too busy fighting COVID. When in fact, a lot of people were sitting around twiddling their thumbs, waiting for this massive influx that never turned up. But they were not getting the life-saving treatment, whether it would be cancer, heart attack, strokes, other illnesses that they were waiting basically to have. So it looks like Greece is going in the same direction. Now, the Athens Piraeus Hospital Doctors Association has issued a statement denouncing the decision. So the doctors are not happy about this. So they're saying, yeah, we can quite happily get on and treat people with COVID and also continue our regular operations, etc. And now the minister is now saying, no, you can't do that. You're going to have to cut your regular operations. Anyway, the health minister, Thanos Plevis, said on Wednesday, no patient will be at risk Neither surgeries that need to be done will not be delayed, and all emergency surgeries will take place. He added that the health ministry is in talks with private clinics so that surgeries can be carried out if it is necessary. In particular, for Attica, he stressed, there is no change in the planned surgeries, and added that the ministry memo to the hospitals, in fact, gives the administration the option, if necessary, to reduce surgeries. Note that the surgeries were also cut by 80% in the second pandemic. The minister then clarified that there are 1,300 ICU beds across the country, and that public hospitals operate with two speeds. The two speeds, by that he means two levels, those who go into incubation and those that go into, shall we say, isolation away from other patients with other diseases. That's what they mean by two speeds. But I've got to clarify, the 1,300, I wasn't aware of that. I'd been working on the number of 900. It seems that they have actually managed to put in extra beds now, and now the number is 1,300. So that means, as far as I can see, there is a bit more flex in the system. Yes, certain areas have been hit quite hard, where patients have had to be moved to other areas to get the treatment, especially with COVID ICUs. But anyway, it looks like that the Greek national health system, although it's having problems in certain areas, it is moving patients around. And there was call about bringing the army in to set up mobile hospitals again, like they did before. But so far, there's been no word on whether that is to happen. Although private doctors have been forced into working in the public health system in the northern parts of the country, which have been surprisingly hit quite hard. But so far in other parts of the country, there's been no word that there's had to be those measures taken place. And just another thing just to point out is that when doctors are brought in to work in the NSS, the Greek government has the authority under martial law to basically force them to work. But again, that has not been enacted at the moment. They basically just ask for volunteers to come forward and to fill those slots. Interesting story to do with the arts. A Greek actor has forced the cancellation of Eugene Losko's play in Athens after refusing to perform only for vaccinated audiences, drawing criticism and praise in equal measures amid a surge of COVID-19 infections in the country. That's their language of the article. Coronavirus cases in Greece hit a record highs for this month, prompting the government to impose more restrictions on the public life of unvaccinated people this week, banning them from indoor venues, including restaurants, theatres, cinemas and gyms. Greece has so far vaccinated about 62% of its population, which is around 11 million people, below the European average of 67%. Authorities hope that the rules will sway people to go and get the shot. Anyway, Aris Savatis, a popular actor who starred in Lonsko's 1959 absurdist play, The Rhinoceros, announced he was stepping down in an Instagram post late on Tuesday. The Zakynthos Theatre said the production was postponed indefinitely. It's because the man was playing the lead. And he said, I cannot support the segregation of people imposed by the new measures. He also said he voiced skepticism over the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccines and said, we are a society of individuals, not a herd divided between vaccinated and not. Anyway, his decision obviously drew a firestorm of criticism from across the entertainment world, which has been hit hard by the severe lockdowns since the pandemic began, after already suffering during the years of the economic crisis. And we're talking about Greek theatre here, which is just as badly affected as theatre, whether it be in America or whether it be in the UK, by what's been going on. Spiros Biblas, who heads the Greek Actors Association, he said, I'm shocked. I did not expect an actor to stop a show ignoring that the other people work there too. I find it unacceptable. The Greek Development Minister, Adios Georgiadis, tweeted his dismay, saying, are there reasons for leaving his colleagues unemployed because he's not getting his way in the country? Responding to the criticism, the actor said he had informed the theatre company and the director in July of his intention to leave if such measures were taken, allowing them time to find a replacement. Now, you might thought they might have had an understudy standing by ready if such a thing should happen. Anyway, but thousands of Greeks took to social media to congratulate the actor, dubbed by some news outlets as the hero of the anti-vaxxers. Please don't use that phraseology if you're going to big him up. It's pro-choice, not anti-vaccine, all right? Protests against vaccinations drew crowds of thousands this summer, which weren't very well covered in the mainstream media here in Greece, as was everywhere else where they had demonstrations against mandatory vaccinations. Let's get that clear. The word is mandatory vaccinations, not anti-vaccine, all right? Also, it was said it was about time somebody said no, the actor said. One Instagram user wrote below the actor's post, I bow to your ethos and integrity. Now, in The Rhinoceros, this was the play that the guy was in, Sarah Vitalis played the central character Berenger, the only resident of a provincial French town who does not turn into an animal. Anyway, the Theatre of the Absurd pioneers Lonsko had called it an anti-Nazi play. So there you go. It looks like the acting fraternity is also making statements which are causing dismay to the government and to the medical people here as well. But there's a lot of people who agree with what he's done. But anyway, finally, some good news for you. Lambros Marius Makaris, who's actually from Zakynthos, he participated in the men's and women's world karate championship in Dubai, and he was there from November the 6th till the 21st. Anyway, he said it was his first big participation in such a high-level championship in the men's category. Now, he's only 18 years of age, and it was his first appearance, but he was rated 31st best in the world after the championship. Anyway, speaking to the local press, he said, fighting next to the best athletes in the world, your idols, proves that the path you walk was what you dream of when I started karate. I never expected that the moment to come so fast, but I did not expect that my first participation in the World Championship would be at a level of men and not of teenagers. For this reason, I would like to thank the people who helped me and helped me achieve my goals. He also said, I want to warmly thank Hygiena Metra Group with the moral and financial support they provided me and ensured the desire for my participation in the event. And he's now looking towards the Balkan Under-21 Championships, which are going to take place in Rijeka in Croatia. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but he's looking forward to taking part in those next ones. And then another little and finally story which caught my eye this morning. I thought, how sweet, what a nice idea. Anyway, if you like books and you like to read, they now have a book tree library in Zakynthos town, just by the old Jewish synagogue. The street is called Tetris Street, but I think you'd probably find it easier by me telling you it's in the street behind Alexander Roma, literally right outside the site of the old Jewish synagogue. Anyway, it seems the voluntary group of Zakynthos has surprised everybody with this little initiative, which I thought was a lovely idea, where people who want to borrow or lend books can go to the tree and obviously take the books from the tree. Anyway, somebody wrote in the comments, what about the rain and the weather? And somebody quite rightly said, just put them and wrap them in a plastic bag and then hang them on the tree. And you can go down there. So the idea is you can take your books down there, make sure you wrap them in a little plastic bag, hang them on the tree, and then if you take a book, you can return it or you can put another book in its place, so obviously people can spread their books about. So I should think English books, Greek books, books in any sort of language. Go. I'm going to be going down there this morning, actually. I'll go and have a look for myself and just see how many books are in the tree and to see if they're all still dry. Anyway, that's it from me. A quick look at who's tuning in at the moment. Brian Darlington, Chick Ballantyne, ex-Raf Reg buddy. Mark Wells is tuning in. Yvonne Monroe says, morning, Ginge. Also, Liz Saunders is watching as well. Nice to see you tuning in. Julian Anson is watching in. Rosewood as well, you're looking in. Resident here on the island. Not sure if you're still here, if you're back in the UK at the moment. AD Pratt, nice to have you looking in as well, big fella. Dave Matthews, ex-Raf Reg, he says, plenty of sun here, mate. He says, temperature is 6 degrees. And he's in Oxford at the moment. So, yeah, it sounds a bit chilly there in Oxford. Cy Grinley in Wendover is tuning in as well. Nice to see you. Dave Matthews as well, tuning in. Where's he tuning in? He says, it doesn't say. He just says good morning. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, I'll keep my ear to the ground. If I hear of anything, I'll let you know about it. And you have a good day and take care. Ta-ra.